Hi, assalamualaikum, and a very good morning to all ladies and gentlemen. We are so happy and gladly to welcome all of you to our today's webinar to entitle Content Creator, a Step of Career Opportunities. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, we are very sure it would be very hard for all of you, to watch this live, especially at this hour and on weekend. But worry not everyone, ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion, it will be very, very interesting. It will be very fruitful to everyone because we are going to discuss about this topic with this one beloved and fantastic guest speaker. But before we go further, before we introduce our guest speaker, allow me to introduce the lineup for today's moderator, which me myself, I'm Najwa Azmi, together with my partner's sister. There you go.
It's Hulud. I'll be your moderator for today.
And also together with his sister Akila Sanadi, that will be the moderator for the last round for today's webinar. So actually, like I mentioned just now, for today's webinar, we are going to talk about content creator. We are going to talk about career opportunities, whereby I'm pretty sure, we are very sure that there are so many people out there, they're so curious, that are so eager to know what actually does content creator do or works, and actually does, by creating content, can give or provide a very good chances to your career path. Yeah, so if you have those inquiries and also questions in your head, worry not everyone, we are going to answer those questions together with our guest speaker for today. So I'm going to pass the floor to Sister Khulud Ibrahim to introduce our beloved guest speaker for today's webinar. So Sister Khulud, the floor is yours.
Thank you for that, Najwa. So I would like to welcome our precious guest, Sister
Yes.
Shasha. So her real name is actually Shasha Fuad, and her commercial name is Cornflakes Madu. She's a
Yes.
freelance MC, she's a moderator and a content creator, as well as a final year student from IIUM in Korea of
Yes.
English Language and Literature. So she has thousands of followers in her social media account. So, a friendly reminder to you all, if you have a question concerning today's topic, do not hesitate to leave your questions in the comment section. And thank you. So, Shasha, I have a question for you. In your
Sure.
opinion, what does a
Right.
content creator mean?
All right. So, thank you so much for the question. And first of all, hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for dropping by on a Sunday morning. I know that all of us are like, during Sunday mornings, we are all have our own plans. I have my own plans, even. I have like tons of jobs I have to attend soon, but I feel so honored to be invited for this webinar. Right. So, back to the first question about, in my opinion, what is a content creator, right? So, I think we all could agree that in perspective, we have an abundance of what we see a user generated content, which happens to be remixes, combining different types of work. Like you could combine music, you could combine art and this and that to somehow create a message, to create a form of another work of art, to express oneself, because all each and single every one of us are entitled to the freedom of expression. So this kind of content is created to express whatever that's on your mind, right? So it's pretty much straightforward. If you ask me, like, what is a content creator? One person who creates content. Like, what kind of content? Well, it depends on the person's niche. Like, one could be doing content on fashion, one could be doing content on beauty, one could be doing content on politics, and one could do speeches, would do videos, one would even sing and do musical covers. All of this are in total user generated content, right? Contents that users of social media create for expressing themselves, just to gain information, because back then content would be only produced by conventional media, right? Conventional or mass media. But nowadays, with the evolution of technology, with the expansion of the internet and whatsoever, we are receiving more and more user generated content. We are getting content from different types and different parts of the society in which that they would want to express their opinion. Like for instance, if we want to do content in terms of politics, it's not just politicians who create content in general. Like even citizens are entitled to create content about politics. Like what do they know or what do they think about democracy? The attempt to educate, the attempt to propaganda, and so on and so forth. So any type of content that will entertain, that will benefit, that will inform, that will educate a specific audience, anyone who creates this content is a content creator. So that, in my perspective, is a content creator.
Wow, that's so cool, Sister Shasha. So I would say that basically from the answer from Sister Shasha, you would see a content creator actually more towards user generated content, whereby we know that people out there, they are entitled, for freedom or even to express their feelings, right? Either but now
Exactly.
since there are lots of social media accounts, so that's why they use social media to express their feelings and also the freedom of speech, something like that. So
Exactly.
basically,
Yes.
Sister Shasha, I'm very
Mm-hmm.
interested to know more actually about a content creator, and I'm pretty sure that even people out there are so eager to know about this. Like we know that Sister Shasha, has lots of followers on social media accounts, especially on Instagram or even TikTok, right?
Right.
So how did you get into the content creation field or world? And maybe you
Mm.
can share with us how did all started, and even what kind of content do you do or specialize on your social media platforms?
Right. So that's actually a very interesting question, and that is a question that I get often. Like, how do you start,
Understand?
or where do you actually start? Like, how did you evolve, right? And most of my friends are actually asking me, like, how did you even begin in creating content in the first place, right? So,
Understand?
it mostly began from Twitter. Right. I used to have a Twitter account back in
Yeah, yeah.
2015, 2016, where back then Twitter is starting to get popular. There was no TikTok back then, right? So when I was in Twitter, I used Twitter a lot to express whatever I have in my mind. Because remember when I said about user generated content, it's more on
Yes.
expressing the content itself. So I utilize Twitter to express my opinions on certain things. I utilize Twitter to advocate what I believe in. And then back then in Twitter, I talk or I tweet more on about anything that's related to beauty and skincare. And then somehow it maybe became a content creator on Twitter where skincare brands reach out to me. People who wants to know more about skincare follows me because they want to know and they want to see, like because I was talking about skincare in the perspective of someone who suffers from acne. Right. So because it's
Understand.
kind of like it's really hard to get someone who has acne, who has acne and actually gives perspectives and actually gives review about skincare products, because most of people who have acne, they're pretty much sensitive. They have very sensitive skin types, so it's kind of hard to find the right skincare products for them. So I use my Twitter as a platform for me to talk about acne and to talk about skincare,
Understand.
and somehow it expanded from Twitter, and then I decided to deactivate because by the time Twitter has already gained its fame, people are starting more and more people are starting to use Twitter.
Sure.
It starts to get somewhat toxic, sure, because all of them
Understand.
are entitled to the freedom of expression, but somehow some people actually misuse this freedom to even to the sort of threatening, to the sort of gaslighting people in the society. And I
Understand.
mean, I used to be one of them, but then I kind of learned it the hard way that, oh, this is actually not good. Like, this is actually very toxic. So I decided to deactivate, and which is kind of like sad at times because some people actually pay me for my threats in Twitter. But then I also had an Instagram account. So I decided to just
Understand.
merge to Instagram, something that's more visual, because Twitter is more like textual. So Instagram is
True.
where people would see more of my physics, So I could go live on Instagram, and then TikTok came. So when TikTok first existed, it's only associated with women who wants to dance, and it's all like associated with the negative perspectives of women on TikTok. But then
Understood.
I tried my best to really just try to spin that around, and I use TikTok according to what people would recommend me to do, because they say, "Hey, Shasha, you have a good way of speaking. You have a good way, like you have a good voice. So why don't you utilize this for your
True.
content?" So that's what I did. I did speaking contents on TikTok.
Wow.
I did like airport announcements, because I've always loved doing those kind of voiceovers. And then from there, people start to recognize me more and more and more, and they demand a more kind of content about my voice, just specifically on the platform itself. And then somehow TikTok became my main platform for me to create
Wow.
content to talk about anything, because it is fascinating for people who use TikTok in Malaysia. It's fascinating for them to see someone, a girl even, who is talking openly about anything with
True.
fluency. I would
True.
acknowledge that I'm pretty fluent in English. So, I tend to
You
get
are so
comments like,
fluent.
like I tend to get comments, "Oh my God, you're so fluent in English. I want to be like you." When actually in IIUM, like, this is the standard. Like, this is something common. It's not something unique, but that's not what people on TikTok see. So, people like seeing something that's very unique, that's very rare, something for them to have, something for them to talk about. So I take that chance, I take that opportunity, and here I am as a content creator, mostly on Instagram nowadays. And yeah, that is how I began. Although I create content mainly on TikTok and Instagram, it all started from Twitter. So thank you so much to my Twitter followers who made it happen today.
That sounds so fun. Thank you so much, Shasha. And let me tell you, you are very brave for sharing such a sensitive topic, like you said about acne, especially about how Twitter can get toxic and, doing it at those times. I'm pretty sure some people got inspired by your stories and by your advices. So let me ask you, what inspired you to create those contents? Example, is there any motivational or entertainment or conversation videos? What do you believe?
Right. So, what inspired me to create all this content, right? It all went back to what I said earlier about my purpose on creating a beauty content, right? The reason why was because back then, our societal beauty standards were all focusing on something superficial that does not belong to everyone. Something like,
True.
oh, us in Malaysia, we actually believe that people who are pretty are those who have fair skin, those who have flawless
True.
skin, those who have this specific facial structure, those who look like specific certain influences. So they're setting these people as beauty standards in Malaysia. And it's quite sad to see that, because you're actually not giving, I mean, not you, lah, but like, I mean, like the society is not giving the chance to listen to other
Yeah.
people who probably have more better input, just because they don't have the visual that the society admires. So I intend to really just break that stigma. I really intend to just break that standards. And then, because people with acne, they tend to associate themselves with insecurity, something that I myself associate with. Like, I am insecure for how I look. I am insecure for my acne marks. I am insecure for my face in general. Like, actually, I was once famous in Twitter because there was this one person who literally just bashed me for how I look. Like, the
Wow.
person said that I should really just try to smoothen out my skin with sandpaper.
That, that
Sandpaper? Like, they say, "Oh my God, your face is like the surface of the moon. Why can't you just try to grate it with a sandpaper?" And I'm like, what? Like, is that even necessary? Of course,
true.
using the
Yes.
iris as pressing my dissatisfaction. Like, I was just living my life peacefully, and then all I know,
True.
I received this one unknown message telling me to go and use sandpaper on my face. So I
There's
was
always that
expecting,
one person.
there's always
True.
that one
Yes.
person, and that person is someone I don't even know in the first place. I mean, if I know that
That's the
person, and
fact.
I know that I pissed that person off, okay, sure, fine, you can say whatever trash you want to say to me.
Mhm.
But this is someone, we're talking about someone who doesn't even know me in real life, and that's the negative part of freedom of expression. Like, people just come at you freely and just say, whoa,
That's the thing.
like, yeah. So I expressed my dissatisfaction, and then people started to support me here and there. And then I realized, probably I just needed to be someone who has acne, but who wants to be brave to stand up. So, in a way, probably this will have me try to break the beauty standards. And I take that as my motivation to continue creating content. I wanted to try to make sure that people hear me regardless of how I look. People acknowledge me regardless of how I look. Like, although I don't fit in the usual beauty standards, I don't look like this person, I don't look like that person, but I want to be the person who wants to be acknowledged for instance, of fluency. I want to be the person who's acknowledged for her bravery despite having
Yes.
insecurities and acne. So that is my motivation.
Wow, Shasha, I would say that you are so brave enough, to stand up, to talk freely about your dissatisfaction in front of those negative or toxic people. Whereby I guess that I'm not really, I do not have that courage to do so, but I hope that I can learn something from that, because I'm pretty sure that there are so many people out there that even like to body shame people, which actually it's not good and very negative, right? So
Yeah.
according to that, or even I would say, you create contents, there are a lot of contents, and even nowadays you create contents on Instagram and also TikTok. I know that even you did mention that you like to do speaking content despite of
Mm-hmm.
having, I would say, the beauty talk or awareness. So,
Right.
what sort of preparation actually you did
Uh-huh.
prior to the recording of your contents or videos? Did you write out a script, make some scripts, or even
Mm-mm-mm.
brainstorm with someone, look up for any reference, something like that?
Mm-hmm. Right. So my kind of preparation, I mean, as someone who also debates, because I also debate in IIUM, right? So in
Wow, that's
debating, you're only given like a short time to prepare for your speech, to prepare for your point.
understand.
So that thing kind of applied in real life. Like I just do whatever I have in my mind, I just record it. Like as soon as I have an idea of what to do, I just try my best to just record it. Of course, the recording would take various attempts, like attempt one, attempt two. And it's only because I think like, oh, this content doesn't fit. Nah, I think this one's trying too hard. And then so most of the time it's just on the spot. And other times, of course, I would literally like every morning I would open my TikTok and I would scroll through the For You page to see the ongoing trends. Because on TikTok nowadays, for
Understand.
you to be acknowledged for your content, like for your content to actually like
To be
be
on
known and
FYP?
widespread, yes, to be on FYP, it's harder than usual nowadays, because nowadays there are more and more people who are on TikTok, and the competition is pretty high, especially for content
True.
creators. So how like on TikTok, once you take a long time, a long break, like I took a
Mhm.
break for 6 months for my mental health issues,
Wow.
it's really
Understand.
hard for you to bounce back up, as in getting the views. So keeping the momentum is really hard. Like once you miss a content and once you don't go live on TikTok, people will start to not know you anymore.
Understand.
So with that being said, I have to make sure that I am up to date with the trends on TikTok, like the music, the transition, the ideas, the credits, and etc. Like there are a lot of things, even musics nowadays. Like certain songs, like even K-pop artists, like they use TikTok to market their songs first before considering doing music video. They do
True.
challenges here and there. So I take that as an inspiration, whether I want to start a new trend or if I want to hop on a new trend. And yeah, I just look up for inspirations on other people's content, so that, and I aspire for one day I'll be able to start my own trend. I'll be able to start
Wow.
my own kind of responses, something that people would talk about, something that people would respond to. So other than that, it's mostly just inspiration, because I do also have friends who are content creators. One of them named Hakim Parker. Like he has soared to
Wow.
fame recently because of his content creation. He utilizes his voice to create content. Right, so I take
Understand.
inspiration from that as well, and yeah, I just in short, like I just refer back to any videos that have been published on my FYP, as well as my other friends who are also content creators, and I take inspirations from there so that I can fit it to my type of content, my type of niche, since I'm talking about anything beauty related.
Understand. Wow, that's so cool. So actually, we can see that, or we can say that actually, because you have that circle, the circle of content creators. So basically, it somehow help
Yes.
you to, look up for some or few references, right? Wow, that's
Uh-huh.
so cool. And even you are fast learner because you are the debater back then. Oh my god, that's so cool. Perhaps I need to
Right.
be a degrader so that I can be the content
Uh,
creator.
probably not.
Probably not.
All
Oh my
right.
god. Okay, so that's so cool. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, we are just done with our first round for today's webinar. Ting, 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 ting. Okay, so kindly reminder to all of you, if you have any questions concerning for today's topic, do not hesitate to leave your questions at the comment section. So now we are going to proceed to the second round for today's webinar, where it would
Mhm.
be very a bit of further discussions about today's topic in regards to career opportunities. Okay, so let's start the round with our first question. Sister Shasha, are you ready?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, let go. So, just like our topic for today's webinar,
All right.
content creator as career opportunity. So, do you agree with this statement? When creating content, actually nowadays be considered as a career path?
Content creator as career opportunity is a very interesting topic to talk about today, which is why I agreed to be
Yes.
on this show because, in a way, I agree that this is a career opportunity. In fact, if you open LinkedIn, there are a lot of job
Mm-hmm.
openings where people are looking for content creators. Okay, so
True.
one thing
Yes.
we have to understand: content creator, it's not just you creating content and publish it on social media. It's also about how you want to publish it to the mass society.
True.
People who are employers who look for content creators also look forward to job scopes like copywriting for advertisements, for instance, and also trying to brainstorm for ideas on how to market their brand. So content creator would be something like a sub career that falls under the field of marketing. So, but people nowadays
Understand.
would want to resort to social media. They will look throughout the internet to look for legitimacy. For instance, they want to verify whether this place is legit or not. So, workplaces, brands nowadays, they realize that content creation is something that requires creativity. Creating requires creativity because, like I said, society likes seeing things that are unique, likes seeing things that are very pleasing to the eye. So for that particular reasons, we need to have people who are creative in creating the content that will be able to market, that will be able to advocate whatever beliefs that a certain organization wants to advocate, that wants to put forward to the
Understand.
society. So yes, sure, back then we could say that, oh, content creating is just something that you want to do during your pastime, but that was like what, before 2019. Ever since the pandemic, where we're all required to just stay at home, so we're
True.
stuck to our social media, we're stuck to our phones 24/7. So people tend to look up for informations online. People don't really use like physical newspapers anymore, so everything they would search on the net. So using this reason, with this reason that the internet is more, it's becoming more of a necessity. It's no longer a want, it's more like a necessity nowadays.
True.
That's how, and that is why content creators are now seen as a job opportunity. It's now seen
Yes.
as something that can actually generate you income in the long run, especially when organizations want to market their brands. Let me give you an example, right? So an example would be the local skincare industry nowadays. Okay, so we, for so long in our pharmacies, never have we seen local skincare brands that are actually widely used by the people in Malaysia. Sure, we do have
True.
certain local skincare names, but those local skincare are in fact deemed by the Ministry of Health Malaysia as something very dangerous. They contain dangerous ingredients. They contain mercury, isotretinoin, that will harm its consumers in the short run and in the long run. So local skincare is often associated to something that's very harmful. People are often skeptical about this. But with the existence of social media, with the existence of content creators, with the existence of the internet as a source for you to get all the information, right? The industry has started to change. More and more local legit skincare brands have started to emerge, and it's all thanks to content creators. What do these content
True.
creators do? They leave review on these skincare products. They advocate for the safety of, they advocate for safe ingredients to be used. They advocate the awareness on the skincare that we call in Malaysia, we call as timbang kilo, which
True.
basically is like, a mass product that use, like unindicated dosage of harmful ingredients that are deemed as drugs and poisonous by the Ministry of Health themselves. So content creators will want to advocate for these brands to be safe, for these brands to be used, for these brands to, for somehow to support our local economy kick, right? So with that, with the trend of local skincare industries that have more and more expanded until it became something that's already very common in Malaysia, like we can already
True.
differentiate which one is Timbang Kilo and which one is a legit skincare brand.
Mm.
Hence, these skincare brands see content creators as like someone important for the organization, so they will always want to have job openings. Okay, who wants to be a content creator for our brand? Because I've been approached personally by two or three local
Wow.
skincare brands to create content for the TikTok. Right. So throughout
That's
last year,
good.
I created content for a local skincare brand for around 3 to 4 months, and then I just took a break because I had to do my studies. But then nowadays, now I see that brand with a team. Now they already have a team. Before this, they just rely on 1 or 2 people, but they already legit have a team under the marketing department, and then the sub
Wow.
job was a content creator. So they post on TikTok about the benefits of the product, about the benefits of this ingredient, that
Yes.
ingredient. So that in a way is marketing and also educating and also giving awareness. So now we're breaking the stigma that content creation is no longer something that you do during your pastime, but it's something that we should take seriously as a career opportunity.
Wow.
Thank you so much for that. That was so informative. It's very amazing how, like you said, when there are like content creators, creative people, and the internet, they actually influence a whole local market.
True.
That's very
Yes.
amazing. Like, I really love that. So, I'm really curious following this question. Does creating content is only a part of your hobbies, or somehow does it help in securing a job or making money?
Right. So, thanks to my initiative, like I'm thanking myself. Yes, I'm very proud of myself over here for the efforts of me creating content on TikTok because when I created content, like I did a lot of speaking videos on TikTok, and like I compared to Instagram, because Instagram is where I only post photos. I have to admit, when I post videos on Instagram, it doesn't have that much engagement compared to when I post it on TikTok. When you post the content on
Understand.
TikTok, there's more chances, it's more likely for your content to be seen by strangers. On Instagram, your content might as well just be seen from those who follow your account. But on TikTok, on your FYP, like there's a 98% chance, almost 100% chance that the content you see on your For You page is from people that you don't even follow. So with this algorithm, with this kind of benefit, I take the chance, I take the opportunity to promote myself as an MC. I create contents where I do speaking in English. I create contents, like I said earlier, I do airport announcements like tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita telah mendarat di lapangan
Wow.
terbang antarabangsa Kuala Lumpur. Something like that. When I do it more proper, right? So with this kind of videos, I somehow am able to like advertise myself and my potential as a bilingual MC, that I can MC both in English without having the awkwardness in me speaking English, and also I can host an MC well in Bahasa Melayu without me sounding awkward. So that people won't be able to bash me. Like if I speak more in Malay, then they wouldn't be able to bash me. Like, oh, you speak English, because I can speak English fluently, and if I speak English fluently, some people will tend to, I mean on TikTok, I mean when I create content in English, the first thing or the main thing that people will, I mean some users will comment on TikTok will be, but you're a Malay, can't you speak Malay properly? Oh my god. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Correct.
I'm like, excuse me, the audacity, the audacity of you to think that way. And then I started speaking in Bahasa Melayu, full-fledged Bahasa Melayu even. So this somehow markets my abilities to talk and to host, to MC bilingually, right? So with that, I get to secure like a lot of, not specifically job, but in MC terms, jobs, yes, where I get to have clients who want my service to host
Wow.
and to MC their events, to moderate their conferences, up to date. Like even before the pandemic, I remember, because it has been way long since I last did hosting for physical event. The last physical event that I did before the pandemic hit us so bad was for an event of launching where the
Mhm.
guests were in fact the embassy of the Republic of Korea.
Wow.
Yes, and since I
That,
was able to speak a bit of Korean, so I get to annyeonghaseyo all the way, and the Koreans were like so impressed. Not because I could say annyeonghaseyo, but it's the way that I say it. Like my accent, it sounded almost accurate in their ears, and yeah, so it somehow helped me to generate income for that. Because for my MC jobs, like it's not just 50 ringgit, 10 ringgit per hour nowadays. Like outside, I can charge you hundreds per hour.
wow.
So even my boyfriend, who is also my manager, who is also my personal assistant now, he was also impressed at how much money I could generate in 1 hour. He was like, Sha, you can actually generate in within 3 hours you are able to generate as much money as one person's minimum salary.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, so one person's 1 month minimum salary, you can get it within 3 hours. Like that is something that's wow, and it's all thanks to I wouldn't consider this as a hobby anymore nowadays, because brands tend to reach me on my social media to advocate for their brands, also to leave review for their products. They pay me for it. So yeah, creating content is no longer part of my hobby. It helps me to secure my emceeing jobs, and it also helps me to make money along the way.
Wow, that's so cool. And even I would say that your boyfriend, hit the jackpot. Okay. And actually,
That yeah. I mean, that's what he said, but like not literally, but literally, like yeah.
yes, and even just like what you mentioned just now, that even you put effort to learn those languages, in English or even in Malay. Obviously, it's our native, a native language, and also in Korean. Oh my God, that's so cool! That's
Yeah.
so cool.
Kamsahamnida.
Maybe you can give few sentence for us. Maybe you can share a few sentence with us.
I mean, it has been long since I spoke in Korean, but 안녕하세요. 오늘은 저는 차샤입니다. 네, 말레이시아에서 see, I already forgot already. Malaysia에서 I already forgot lah. But
Oh
오늘
wow, that's so cool.
ah,
That's so cool.
감사합니다.
Yeah, that's so cool. And even I would say, Shasha, even I know, and even we notice on your Instagram or social media accounts that actually you are not even, emceeing job and stuff like that, but you also create or make few seminars
Mhm.
for workshop, right?
Yes. I
Oh, that's
am
so cool.
currently teaching an institute. I'm teaching part time as a public speaking trainer. Again, thanks to my content creating, because my friend actually approached me like, Sha, do you want to be a part time public speaking trainer? So now I train children 10 to 15 years old to for
Wow,
public speaking, and I also do presentation skills workshop where I target university students. So
wow.
to date, I've already ventured almost nationwide. I've went to not just
Oh my
IIUM, of
God.
course, because IIUM is my alma mater, but also I spoke for Unitar, I spoke for UITM Rumba, which is kind of interesting because before this, I applied for position. I mean, I applied to study at UITM and in mass comm, but I didn't get it. My application was rejected.
Understand.
But then imagine years later, they invited me as a speaker for the communication workshop. So it's like
Understand.
I guess my Rizuki is there, right? So I spoke in UITM, I spoke in Unitar, I spoke for UKM, I spoke for
So this is,
UUM, and
yeah,
even
my God,
Unimas.
that's so
Yeah,
cool. So
yeah,
Shah, does it mean that did you even I would say that did you expect that you when you first meet your social account, I mean
yes.
your Twitter, your YouTube, or even I would say TikTok and also Instagram, did you even
Mhm.
expect that it would become what it is today? Did you
I
ever say that?
I mean,
Oh my God.
this might seem out of like how I bangga diri ke apa ke, but I actually see it coming. Like I actually see that when I do this TikTok, I know that I will be gaining recognition, because I know for a
Mm.
fact that the way that I speak, okay, is something very unique. Like, it's not every day that you're able to see on your social media someone who can actually speak fluent English. There are even people,
Mm-hmm.
content creators on TikTok, who speak English with a British accent. People also look up to that as well. Something that's very is something very wonderful to see. Why? Because we
True.
acknowledge English as our second language in our society, right? So
Yes.
it's really something fascinating to see someone who speaks English fluently, with almost little to no broken grammar, and of course given an accent. Now that's an extra point. In our society, people deem anyone who are able to speak English fluently as someone who is intelligent, as someone who makes them feel insecure, as someone who would inspire them to speak fluently. Okay, so I kind of see that. Okay, number one, I'm very brave enough to speak in front of a huge audience. I mean, I've been doing this since I was 9 years old. I've been joining
Wow.
storytelling competitions, I've been joining choral speaking competitions. So, speaking in front of the public is not something that would hold me back. It's not something that I would feel scared of. So, and furthermore, I'm a woman, like, I'm a girl. So it's kind of like, it's something very refreshing to see a girl who's very
True.
brave enough to speak like that time love, because that time you're only expected to see a man talking publicly, right? So it's something refreshing. I kind of see it coming, like, okay, I think if I create this kind of content, I think if I create this content, I think I'll be acknowledged on Twitter. What I don't expect, however, is to reach like a huge number of followers. Sure, my Instagram has a small following, has like a 5,000 following, but on TikTok, like, just within like 8 months of creating content actively, and I mean actively, like, as in until June 2021, I managed to get 70,000 followers. 70,000 followers on TikTok. And I myself was shocked. I myself did not see that coming. Like, I did see that I'm going somewhere, but I did not see that it's going to reach 70,000 followers, you know? So again, up till today, I'm still in awe. Like, oh, wow. Some people actually want to see me talk. Whether they want to be inspired by it or they want to bash me for it, because Malaysians, they just love to bash content creators for any unexistent reason, even non-existent reasons, even, right? But I actually have something that people want to take input from. I actually have something that people would want to take note of. Wow. And like, this
Yeah.
70,000 people are waiting content from me is something that I don't even see coming. So I can
Wow.
actually consider that it is a part of my career opportunity, in which that with whatever that I publish, I can probably take note in my resume, and I will say
True.
that, oh,
Yes.
this is my working experience, because
True.
throughout my years up until this year, I've never had a formal job or formal work experience, like a 9 to 5, or working part-time in FMB and everything, because given that my parents don't allow me to do this and that, so what more can I do within this four wall if not for creating content? So I can see that as my work experience. And then I learned that with this content creation, I can actually apply for jobs under the marketing department. And I can even audition to become, news reporter, news anchor at major broadcasting stations, which I'm looking forward to this year. I just need to upgrade more on my visuals, and then yes, you're gonna see me in TV Tiga, or even Media Prima,
Wow.
or even Astro in the future. Inshallah, I mean.
Amin. 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 Amin.
I mean, that is so impressive. You deserve all the acknowledgement you're getting now, and even more. And Shasha, like mostly, even the most talented content creators, they wouldn't be able to get that many followers. So it's just about the atmosphere that a content creator provides that will make the audience love them or be interested. So I'm sure you know the atmosphere. So I have a question for you. What has been the biggest challenge for you as a content creator, and how did you overcome it?
Right. So there are a few challenges that I would take note of as a content creator. One of it, of course, is facing backlash from audience. Right. There is that one time where I decided to really just freely express myself as who I am, where I want to advocate. This is me. This is my identity, and well, it's not an idea that the society conforms to. It's not something that they actually appreciate seeing to, the transition from this person to that person. So I tend to get questions about why did I do this. Some people actually gave unsolicited advice, unsolicited compliments, I mean,
Understand.
unsolicited, basically anything that's unsolicited that I don't even ask for. And this is something why I say it's a bit detrimental, especially to my mental health, because in a way I kind of like I got easily affected by these comments, and even like there's that one time where, which is one of the reason why I deactivated my Twitter, is because of the fact that people on social media, when they tend to spin my words into another different narrative. When, like, again,
Understand.
let me remind you that when we're talking about user generated content, we're talking about the reason why they do this is because they want to utilize their right to the freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Yet some people would misuse this to create like a certain narrative, a certain stigma, to gaslight, and to create any negativity that existed in the society, right? So when that happened to me, when I was expressing my thoughts about something, and then some other people came, screenshot that particular content, and
Wow.
tried to turn it to a different perspective, try to turn it to a narrative that I don't even intend to publish in the
Understand.
first place. People have started to believe in that narrative rather than believing in me, and then they started to, give me bashful comments. They started to um,
Understand.
get into my personal life even. They start to interfere with my personal life, with my relationships, like people tend to say bad stuff about my relationships. And that is what I see is challenging, because when I see these comments back then, I even got panic attack. I got anxiety attack for like 3 days, because in my mind I was thinking like, I should have not done this, I should have not done that, I should have not published this content, I should have not published that content. Why are these people doing this to me? Like, what did I do wrong? So all of these thoughts have overwhelmed me, and I got panic, and I got attacks. I got a few episodes coming, and thankfully my friend came to support me. So the way for me to overcome this, like as soon as I deactivated Twitter, I also realized that, Sha, there will be that one moment where this might happen again. So how do you want to overcome it, or how do you want to at least mitigate the effect? So one
Understand.
of it would be the support from my friends and the support of my loved ones, like they would give comments, they would give me reassurance that what I do is, even though it's not right, it's not even harmful to the society. So they just reminded me to not be affected with whatever is being laid on social media, because social media is a place where people could really just tell all the trashy things to you. Then they're only courageous enough to do that because you're not in front of them. Like, they don't say it
Understand.
straight to your face. So those people are actually, to a point that those people are scared. Actually, the reason why they give all these comments is because they're scared, they're intimidated. So they reassure me that way. And of course, they also reminded me to not take things on social media too seriously. And because of that incident as well, the challenge as well, I made sure to also monitor my content. Like, I think twice, I think three times before publishing my content. Will this
Understand.
benefit anyone? Number one. Will this harm anyone? Number two. Will this in any way initiate or invite any interpretations that will somehow get me in this term cancel? So once I found the answers to all of these questions, then only I'll decide if I want to publish this or not. Because in a way, like even IIUM, like I'm now seen, not really seen, but somehow I represent my institution. People who follow me on my Instagram, my TikTok knew I'm from IIUM. Even if they don't, some people will say, oh, she's from IIUM. So
Sure.
I carrying the name of IIUM, even though I don't want to, even though we could give a disclaimer that whatever we do outside the campus is none of the IIUM's business. But some people
Yes.
would say, oh, is this how IIM children are like? So I tend to just think of it that way. Okay, now that I'm bringing the institution's name, the least that I could do is to make sure that my content is not detrimental to anyone in society. It's not something that will initiate or gaslight anyone in the society, nor will it give the chance for people to do so to me as a content creator. Since now that I see this as something that's generating money, I have to make sure that I'm consistent enough to keep this momentum. Yep. So
Understand. Wow, actually, I would say that I'm so surprised and even, sorry to hear that you need to face those challenges, which even at some point, it somehow affect your mental health, which actually it's really, really, you are struggle with yourself to handle those things. And actually, I even noticed this one video that you posted on your Instagram, whereby,
mhm.
when you're so down, when you're so
Mm,
down and even upset about those negativity or toxic things, but you are so brave, babe. You are strong
thank
enough. You are
you.
so brave to face it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, and so just to break this feeling, because I'm too sad right now. I don't know why. Okay. So actually, ladies and gentlemen, these would be the last questions from me and also Sister Hulid Ibrahim before we pass the floor to the next moderator, which is Sister Akila. Okay,
Mhm.
so Shasha, by
Yes.
having those challenges, I know that this last question from me would be very controversial. Okay,
Big controversial,
spicy.
right?
So
Spicy, of course.
by having those challenges, Shasha, according to you, is actually by being a content creator, it's worth it.
Hmm. Good
Is it worth
question.
it
With
now?
all of these challenges, with all of these people like, bashing me for even what I wear, for, just questioning me what I do in this, is it worth it for me being a content creator? Yes, it's worth it. Because if it's not for my content on TikTok, and if it's not for my content on Instagram, I won't be able to secure jobs, to secure my image, and by the end of the day to be able to actually be that person who would buy my friends food, like every time nowadays, and even now, whenever I want to go out just to eat, and then I would ask my boyfriend, I would ask my friends, hey, yo, guys, I feel like I want to have Korean food today, and then they would say something like, not today, I don't really have the budget, and I'm finally able to say, who says you have to pay, man? It's on me. Before this I wasn't able to say that. Before this I was the one who would just only go out when I'm able to, when I'm just waiting for my allowances to come in, my allowance being only 350 from my parents, and that's it. But now I'm not saying that I'm rich, like I'm rich, no, but it's enough for me to at least, buy my friends dinner. Even like I could consider really just spending on them without having to think the balance that I would have left. Because even if one time I would decide to just I want to splurge on my friends, on buying them, like that one time I bought them food, and then I went to Watson's and like, hey, oh, just grab anything that you want, okay, just grab anything, like really anything, and I can actually be that person, right? And because by the end of the day, even if I spend a lot, like hundreds, I can still like go back to my room and lie down and think, oh, I'm waiting for another 1,000 from this job, I'm waiting for another 1,000 from this job, I have like 3,000 pending from this client. So I don't really have to worry anymore, and that is only me as a content creator, as a part-time, something that I do when I want to. I don't really stick to a commitment, a schedule, like, and now I also have the opportunity, I mean, the position of me teaching as a public speaking trainer, which gives me monthly salaries, even. So, all of this won't happen if it wasn't for who I am today as a content creator, if it's not
Yeah,
for the speaking content that I published on my TikTok. So,
yeah.
it's all worth it.
That's cool, Shasha. Okay, before that, hi everyone, I'm Akila Sanadi. So, and I will be moderating for this third session, which is the last session. Okay, so, hi Shasha. Okay,
Hello.
are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm pretty sure that you are very tired, but you are giving a very good and great sharing to our audience. Okay, so thank you again, Shasha, for the great during the first and also the second sessions. So in this session, I would
Mm-hmm.
eager to ask about tips and maybe some questions from the audiences. Okay, so I can
Okay.
see you are a popular, right? very popular and
Nah.
something creating so much content. There are a lot of content that I watch on your Instagram, also on your TikTok. Okay, so when you experience such fame, okay, so how do you feel? So what was it like? Can you share your experiences with our audiences? Yeah.
Wow, if this question was directed to that content creator friend of mine, I would say that he would be very speechless. All right, so
Wow.
I wouldn't say that I'm very popular, but I would say that it's enough for me to be known even on my social media. Like I posted a content on TikTok recently, and then I got this comment saying, "Oh my god, I followed you from your Twitter days," which I've already deactivated for 2 years now. I've deactivated my Twitter for 2 years, and
What?
some people actually still know me and remember me from my Twitter
That's great.
days.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I'm turning 23 this year,
Yeah,
and wow, I like oh
they are
actually
still remember
yeah.
remember you, like Shasha. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like people still remember me. Why? Like why? Right? So
Wow, that's good.
it's not like that. Like that's how it's like, some people appreciate the faith, but
Yeah.
I sometimes although I do appreciate it, because like I said earlier, if it's not because of me being widely acknowledged by people,
Mhm,
I wouldn't be getting recommendations. Like, oh, I know this person, she's doing emceeing jobs, probably can contact her.
mhm,
Like that's
mhm.
how I'm able to secure emceeing job nowadays. But then
Yeah.
sometimes I have that thought, like, what if I was someone who's not known? Like I could be doing anything that I want, like without people actually poking their nose into my business, like they won't even feel the obligation that they're not obliged to in the first place to,
Mm-mm, mm.
give unsolicited advice about how I wear, how I clothe, and etc. Like
Yeah.
I wish I was that person, you know.
Mm-mm.
But then it's the path that I chose. It's the path that I chose to go to
Yeah.
lead me to somewhere which I don't know where it will lead me to, but I do know that I want to be there talking. I don't want
Mm-mm.
to stick to a 9 to 5 job. Like,
Yeah.
that might be my second option, but I'm really not ready to dedicate myself to office life. I want to be able to do my stuff,
Mm-mm.
and if I could generate content, if I could generate income from doing what I like, which is
Mm-mm.
talking, now why not? Right? So
Yeah.
the experience, of course, it comes with the price. With that being said, even when people know me, I just take whatever positive things that I could take. Like people would recommend me to their friends or their peers to advocate and advertise for their brands, like for tomorrow, for instance, right? I have someone who actually knew me from my social media presence, and she hired me to host for her brand's launching event about to
Wow.
Caves tomorrow.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Yes, and that is
That's
worth
great.
a 4-digit income. That's worth a 4-digit income. And you guys
Seriously,
also,
mashallah. Mm-mm.
yeah, if you guys would, I mean, this is something I would like to share as well. I'm currently casted as a Shopee Live host for a famous designer
Congratulations.
brand,
Mashallah. Mm-mm.
Jovian Mandagi, and a clothing brand which is Cheetah Malaysia. And that is would be one of the biggest milestone that I've achieved,
Mm-mm.
because it's Jovian Mandagi we're talking about. It's a very famous mask
Mm-mm.
brand, and they trust me with my skills, with my
Mm-mm.
mongering skills, to
Mm-mm.
actually advertise their masks, and I was able to generate them more income. And this is what my boyfriend told me.
Oh,
If Jovian Mandagi was smart enough, he would want to take you for more Shopee live sessions.
yeah.
That's what he told me after my first live session, right?
Yeah.
So at first I didn't believe in it. Like probably it's just something seasonal that they do. Probably it's just for one time. It was for their
Mm-mm.
year end sale.
Mm-mm.
And then weeks after, 2 weeks after, shortly after,
Uh-huh.
even, no, it's not even shortly after, like after I finished my Shopee live session,
Yeah.
like I was eating, and then the
Mm-mm.
founder himself, Dato Jovin himself,
Uh-huh.
came like from a distance. I was literally eating one piece of this chicken, and then from there, Dato Jovin was like, "Hey yo, Sasha Madu, we're going to take you for the next live session. Yes, so make sure you lock your date." He didn't even ask me if I'm free on that day. He was like, "No,
Mashallah.
I
Mm-mm.
want you to host for our Shopee live session." I was literally
Directly. Yeah.
I I hardly bit my chicken and like again. Okay, because doing with a job with them
Jovi.
one time again generated me for a 4-digit income. So doing it again and
Mashallah.
again and again. So that is how I'm able to like see, or this is what it has brought me to. This is what my fame brought me to, because the person who proposed my name to be a host for the Shopee live session knew me from my TikTok content. He said that, yeah,
Oh,
she said that, oh, I saw this challenge video of you doing this news telling challenge with Uya
mm-mm.
and Arshad at one time, and we think that it's a perfect fit for our Shopee live session. So yep.
Yeah. Maybe because your friends help you out, I can say that um introduce you to this organization, like helping you. Is it like your friends in on your TikTok literally helps you out for your career, career?
Yeah, I
Mm-mm.
suppose so.
Okay, so Shasha,
Mm-hmm.
I like the sentence that you say that we need to do what we like, because when we do what we like, we I think like we have fun to do that things, right?
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
as a influencer, okay, as a popular influencer, do you feel a sense of responsibility towards your followers, like when you are creating content, right, skincare content, or
Mm-hmm.
more content that you do? So do you think that you have that responsibility towards
Uh,
your followers? Yeah.
Oh yes, definitely. And I'm not saying this because I'm on my own high horse. It's really because like the fact that I have thousands of followers on my social media, like I said earlier, it means that they have something to look forward to from me. So I feel this sense, I feel the need to really just advocate positivity.
Mm,
Like I said, like what motivated me to create my content is that I wanted to break the stigma. I wanted to break the conventional beauty standards. I wanted to break that. So I feel obliged to create awareness on beauty in terms of all types of skin. And
yeah.
alhamdulillah, with this kind of motivation as well, I recently was called by an international cosmetics brand
Mm-mm.
to model for them, because they also believe in a similar thing where people are
Yeah.
beautiful with their foundation and people are beautiful without their foundation, and you'll be able
Mm-mm.
to see my face in Sephora.
Wow.
But yes, but that is the result. Like that is something which I think carries my goal, carries my responsibility. I feel like I've done like one of the most big things that
Mm-mm.
helped me to somehow fulfill this responsibility. I'm able to
Mm-mm.
really tell the society, even with this face with acne and with acne marks, I am beautiful, and so are people out there who have acne. Because we still deem that acne is something one should be really concerned of, where one is ugly with acne. So I'm trying, I feel like the responsibility to tell people, first, you shouldn't be insecure of it, and second is that you're beautiful with it, and people with acne are beautiful as well, right? And
Yeah.
also because with the 70,000 followers, like especially on TikTok,
Mm-mm.
like I could say half of them are children, half of them are people who are younger than me.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
I don't want to give them a false sense of, narrative, a false sense of hope that this is how the society is like. This is how the society should be.
Mm-mm.
Like you should be doing this and that. I feel like through my content, I have to make sure that I advocate the necessary values that they should carry in their life. And again,
Mm-mm.
because like I said, what I do and whatever I do on social media, in a way, I'm still representing my institution. Even the rector knows me, the deputy rector knows me, so at least knows like, oh yeah, I know that Shasha. So that adds up to the responsibility of me making sure that my content is not provoking, that my content is not, harmful, that my content is not in a way would lead to backlash and etc. And this is something that other bigger social media personalities should also take note of, right?
Yeah.
So like they should also realize that some people actually look up to them as
Mm-mm.
inspirations, even in terms of fashion, even in terms of values, even in terms
Yeah.
of makeup, even, right?
Mm-mm.
So there are values that these people learn from all of these what we call influencers, right? We have a case of an influencer accused of plagiarism because the person is bringing up a local brand, like starting a local brand, but then it was found out that she plagiarized a brand.
Mm-mm.
So this is something which we have to take note of. Like
Yeah.
if you're teaching people, like it's not really teaching, but if you, as someone with a huge number of followers, are initiating this act of
Mm-hmm.
plagiarism, you're
Plagiarism.
actually normalizing it to
Mm-hmm.
other people, to the society, and we don't want that to happen. So yeah, that is the sense of responsibility.
That's great, Shasha. Okay, Shasha, can we
Mm-hmm.
proceed to the Q&A questions? Okay, from the audiences. Okay, because the time is running out now.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Sorry.
the first questions. Okay, I think like this one. I also want to know from you. So may you share with us what are the among you have a lot of opportunities, right? So what are among the unforgettable offers or opportunities that you receive that you have achieved when you started the journey as a content creator? Okay, go ahead,
Right.
Shasha. Okay.
I have a lot of unforgettable offers, but of course, one of them is, like I said earlier, the offer with Jovian Mandagi, right? Because I
Yeah.
would never see myself hosting a Shopee live session for such a huge local designer brand, and
Mm-mm.
actually hosting in front of Dato Jovian himself, and to see his reaction when he sees me hosting, how he's like impressed.
Mm-mm.
So to me, like I feel that I managed to do it. Like it's something like a sense of achievement. Like whoa, this is something big that I've done. Like
Mm-mm.
I actually have a celebrity designer who acknowledges my existence, who
Yeah.
actually knows that I do Shopee live session. He even acknowledges me by my stage name as Syasya Madu.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like one of the unforgettable offers that I've achieved. Another one would be like earlier, which
Mm-hmm.
was It Cosmetics. It's an international cosmetic brand. It's very like one of the products costed hundreds. They actually reached out to me, reached out to me and say, "Hey, we want to approach you to model for our brand because we wanted to have this campaign, beautiful without it, beautiful with it." So I mean, I could never imagine myself modeling for local brands, what more somewhat international. And then knowing that, oh, hey, Shasha, uh, I mean, our recent campaign has been celebrated by Sephora Malaysia, and they want to take part of this, which means that they would want to publish your image and your faces alongside other models in Sephora's nationwide. Right. So this, I would say, is something that's very another huge sense of achievement, especially this year. So yeah, that is the unforgettable offers and opportunities that I received.
Wow, congratulations, Shasha. Okay, by the way, I would like to tell you that I did watch your live session with Jovian, right? I was
Uh-huh.
very like, wow, my friends, you are very talented, and I think like when I watched your live during that time, I learned something. I learned how to handle the live. I learned how to promoting apa the brand, the Jovian brand. Okay, so Alhamdulillah, thank you, Shasha, for that for that moment. Okay, so Shasha, I think
Right.
I guess this one is the last question. Okay, so from Siti Maizia. Okay, she would like to ask. You are so cute, Shasha. So, Shasha,
Thank
how
you.
content creators make money on social media? Mind you sharing the simplest way with us? Yeah.
Okay, the simplest way for you to make money on social media is being an affiliate. Being an affiliate means all you have to do is that you just have to advertise the brands, the products on your
Mm-mm.
social media, and these brands will generate a link where you could share on your social media. Like even you put it on your bio, for instance. Okay, let me say that there's a content, I mean, there's a brand that wants me to promote their perfume. Right,
Mm-mm.
so using my social media, I have to
Mm-mm.
promote about this perfume. Okay, guys, so this perfume is smells very nice. It has three top notes, blah blah blah, and then musk, and then this is very suitable for men and women alike. All right, so if you want to get this product, you can click on the link below. Every click, and even for every time people would want to buy this product through your link, you will be given a commission. We call it, right? So you'll be paid for it. Like there's as much as 10 ringgit per product you'll be able to sell. So in a way, it's like you are helping the brand to market
Mm-mm.
their and to promote their products, as well as probably you're able to elevate your social media because they would want to consider you as a content creator. But of course, it's
Yeah.
not just just pasting the link and then that's it. If you really want to generate like serious money, then you also have to be serious in promoting the content.
Mm.
try
Yeah.
to find inspirations, and try to find anything that you think you can do to sell that product. Make it as if the
Mhm.
product is yours for you to sell. That would be like the simplest way to make money on social media. And people tend to think that content creators who can generate money on social media are those who have a large number of followers. No, because we have stages of influencers. We have nano influencers, then we have micro, then we have macro, and then we have other different sizes. It's according to the number of followers, yes, but people with even small number of followers, like 100 and 200, above minimum 100 or 200 nowadays, even
Mhm.
people with 100 followers are important to this brand, because this is what we call the seeders. They plant the seed to get and to create awareness about the brand itself. So just because you have like what 200 followers on social media, don't make it think like you are unfit to be a content creator. And with your every content creation, there's always a higher possibility for you to be acknowledged by people to see your content, given that you're creative enough. Because like I said, it's more of a competition nowadays. So experiment with templates, experiment with filters, experiment with styles, experiment with transitions, because people are always watching for something fresh and unique.
uh yes, because people, like, we need to keep update with the trend, right,
Yes.
Sister Shasha? Okay,
Yes.
so I think, okay, can I ask one more question?
Sure, sure, sure. Go ahead.
Okay, so Masha Allah, my mom is cooking right now. Okay, I'm so sorry, Shasha.
It's
Okay, so
okay.
as a content creator, what is the most important aspect to produce a very beneficial content, good content for the audiences? Either the script should be straightforward, or maybe realistic, and more towards awareness. So this question is from one of Kecho TV. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So, as a content creator, what's most important is the most important aspect is creativity. Creativity doesn't mean that you have to buy certain props. You have to look like this. You have to look like that. No, creativity can come in many ways. It can come from the language that you use, the tone, intonation that you use to speak, or even the content and the points that you want to give. Because humans, they are tailored to really look out for something that is unique in their eyes and unique in their ears. So if they listen to something that's fresh, that's new, that's interesting for them to hear, it might make them stick. So that's the most important aspect of the content. And of course, you have to ask your content whether will it benefit the audience, will it educate the audience, will it somehow create a certain awareness, because we right now we need more content creators that actually can educate people in the long run, because now that we're still confined to our phones, now we are, I mean, information is just within a fingertip away. We need content creators that can actually benefit the society, because education can no longer come from the in the forms of classroom, in the forms of syllabus, no more. Because educating about life, educating about any life aspects in general, like, it comes from hearsays. It comes from people who talk, who gives creates a story, create a content about that particular lesson. So, and in order for you to create giving this awareness, of course you have to make sure that your content is creative enough for people to listen. Like, let me give an example of a comparison, where one person would just use more jargon words, for instance. Okay, creativity of language, right? They will use jargon words to really just spread the awareness of a certain value. But then on the other hand, this person is using something that's more relatable to the society, like demonstrate it through parodies, demonstrate it through trends and whatever. People will want to look at the second content more rather than the first, because it is something that's very refreshing, that's something that's very relatable to the society, and also something that they would want to look forward to more and more. So yeah, you can just, I mean, the most important aspect in creating content is creativity.
So yeah, thank you, Shasha. So keep that point. Okay, creativity is the most important aspect of to creating a content. Okay, on social media, either on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and many more. Okay, so Shasha, before we
Yeah.
end, just short and sweet. What tips and tricks that you would give to the audiences, to us who want to become a successful content creator? Maybe one day, me and Najwa being a content creator like you. Okay, so what are your the tips and tricks to be a successful content creator?
To be a content creator, you must be brave. And to
Yeah.
be brave, you must be able to look forward and to expect any sorts of challenges, because we've seen the trend of cancels. We've cancel. We've seen the trend of what happens when you do great content, what happens when you do bad publicity, right? So if you want to be a content creator, and you want to be acknowledged, you want your content to be acknowledged, you must be ready for all of these risks and challenges. And for that, you have to be brave. And creativity doesn't come, it's not, you're not, one person is not born with creativity. Creativity is something that you, actually every one of us have our creativity. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of us, how do we want to find it, and how do we want to accentuate it, how do we want to, use it in our daily life even. So like, if you think that you're creative in, fashion, you're creative in writing even, you can actually use that as form of content. Because always remember in your mind that people look forward to something new every day, and that something
Yeah.
new will come from you.
That's cool, Shasha. Thank you. So, you know what? There is one audience that say, like, nak jadi content creator lepas ni because of you. And the one say, like, nak jadi content creator. So that's great. Okay. So, Shasha, ladies and gentlemen, with the Q&A session just now, then we end our webinar today. Okay, so on behalf of the entire committee of the webinar, I would like to thank all of the participants, my team, Sister Najwa, and also Kulit Ibrahim, and also all of our students, our friends, okay, involved in ensuring the successful organization of the program today. So thank you also for our diligent, talented, creative speaker, Shasha Fuad, for your time to share a huge, and I bet a lot of knowledge that you share to us today, okay, and on how to be a great content creator, on how to make money, okay. So I apologize if there is any lag during the program today. Indeed, the best comes from Allah, and that lag is my own weakness. So with that, I end this program with wabillahi taufiq wa hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Sister Shasha.
Thank you
Bye.
everyone, bye bye.
Assalamualaikum.
Thank you. Bye. Assalamualaikum.